every time when we have a right triangle, if we know two of the sides, we could use the Pythagorean theorem to find the third side. In this example, we have the two sides that are the legs. The legs make the right angle. So this is the right angle here. This means this is 90 degrees. We can only use the Pythagorean theorem if we have a right triangle, if the triangle has a right angle there. The side that's across from the right angle is the hypotenuse. It's really helpful if you label that every time when you're working with a right triangle, whether it's to use the Pythagorean theorem or later on goal 4 stuff where we're using ratios. But labeling is going to be really helpful. So since we have two of the sides, we can use the Pythagorean theorem to find the third side. The Pythagorean theorem tells us that one of the legs squared plus the other leg squared, when we add those together, it will equal the hypotenuse squared. So if this is the hypotenuse, these are both legs. We have 7 squared plus 10 squared. The two legs are 7 and 10. I'm going to abbreviate hypotenuse here. 7 squared is 49, and 10 squared is 100. If I add these together, I get 149. I'm not done yet. This is the hypotenuse squared. So what the Pythagorean theorem really tells me is if I made a square off of each of these legs, a square here and a square here, when I make those squares, these are the areas of the squares. So this square would have an area of 49, this square would have an area of 100, and if I add them together, it means the hypotenuse's square, this square that would come off of here, would have an area of 149. I want just the length of the hypotenuse though, and so to undo squaring, I need to take the square root. The square root is undoing the squaring. So now if I take the square root of 149, I get 12.2. Now if these were 7 centimeters and 10 centimeters, this would be 12.2 centimeters. If it was 7 feet and 10 feet, I would put 12.2 feet as my answer. Since I don't know what units are being used to measure these, then we just write units. It means it's going to match whatever the legs were. So the hypotenuse here would be 12.2 units.